My name is Nadia Voss, and the day my parents abandoned me at 16, a cold resolve settled in my bones. It was a rainy March evening in 2015, the streets of Seattle glistening under streetlights, the air thick with the scent of wet pine from our modest home in the Ravenna neighborhood. I was a quiet girl, awkward with braces and a love for numbers, living with my parents, Elena and Mark Voss, both struggling real estate agents whose charm masked their instability. That night, after a heated argument about their latest foreclosure, they packed a suitcase, their voices low but sharp. "We need a fresh start," Elena muttered, avoiding my gaze. Mark handed me $200 and a bus pass. "Figure it out, kid," he said, and they drove off in their beat-up sedan, leaving me with a note. "Sorry, it's too much." I stood on the porch, rain soaking my hoodie, the house dark and empty. At a loss, I crashed with a friend, Tara, her family taking me in. Years later, alone in a rented studio, I stared at a bank statement showing my first $10,000 savings. At 16, they drove off without a word. At 28, I cleared their debt and cleared them from my life. The abandonment shattered me. I'd grown up watching their fights. Over money, clients, me, my math skills, a quiet rebellion against their chaos. Elena's sharp tongue and Mark's evasions had left me wary, but I'd hoped for stability. Their departure forced me into survival mode. Tara's family, a warm but crowded household, sheltered me, while I enrolled at a community college, studying finance on a scholarship. I worked nights at a diner, earning $300 monthly, and tutored math, saving every penny. The pain of their rejection fueled a plan. I'd rise, reclaim their home, and make them face me on my terms. By 2018, at 19, I'd saved $5,000. My income growing to $1,000 monthly from freelance accounting gigs. The journey was grueling. I balanced school, work, and self-study, sleeping 4 hours a night. My braces came off, but the scars of abandonment lingered. Trust issues, sleepless nights. I earned an associate's degree in 2020, landing a junior analyst job at a tech firm, Pike Solutions, where I mastered data analysis, earning $3,500 monthly. My savings hit $15,000, but the Voss house, now foreclosed and sold to a bank, haunted me. I tracked its ownership, $120,000 owed, researching real estate trends. The pain twisted into a strategy. I'd buy it, pay off their debt, and erase their legacy. I enrolled in an online MBA program, investing $2,000 in courses, my resolve hardening. Planning my revenge took precision. I worked 50-hour weeks, analyzing Pike's financials, proposing cost-saving models that earned me a $5,000 bonus by 2022. My savings grew to $25,000, and I invested $5,000 in a startup, Yield Tech, projecting $10,000 returns. I contacted the bank holding the Voss house, negotiating a $90,000 purchase price, leveraging my analyst skills to secure a $70,000 loan. The deal closed in June 2023. My savings dropping to $18,000. I hired a contractor, spending $3,000 on repairs, new roof, painted walls, transforming the house into a sleek rental property. My income rose to $4,500 monthly from the rental and job, but the emotional toll was heavy. The confrontation loomed. I traced Elena and Mark to a trailer park in Tacoma. Their real estate career collapsed, living on odd jobs. I invited them to the house under the pretense of a family meeting, my heart pounding. On October 15, 2023, they arrived, their faces weathered, eyes wary. I handed them the deed, now in my name, and a bank statement showing their $120,000 debt cleared. "You left me," I said, my voice steady. "I fixed it and I'm done." Elena gasped, Mark stammered apologies, but I turned away, leaving a note on the counter. "This is mine now. Stay away." The victory was bittersweet, closure yet hollow. The shift was surreal. The rental brought $2,000 monthly, my savings climbing to $22,000. I expanded my portfolio, investing $7,000 in Yield Tech, now valued at $20,000. Pike promoted me to senior analyst, boosting my salary to $5,500 monthly. But doubts crept in. Had I truly escaped their shadow? I furnished the house, a modern retreat with a view of Lake Washington, working late to design it. Elena called, begging reconciliation, but I hung up, their voices a trigger. Mark sent letters, unopened, piling in a drawer. My focus shifted to independence, launching a side hustle, Voss Analytics, offering financial consulting for $1,000 per client. Trouble brewed in November 2023. A rival analyst, Greg Larson at Pike, began undermining my projects, his snide remarks echoing my parents' dismissal. I uncovered his sabotage, misreported data costing me a $2,000 bonus. I reported it to HR, but Greg's connections protected him. My phone buzzed with an unknown number. Nice move with the house. Watch your back. I froze. Who was this? Greg? Someone tied to my parents? The victory felt fragile, a new threat emerging. I fortified my stance. I hired a lawyer, Sarah Kim, spending $1,500, and gathered evidence against Greg. Emails, performance logs. Voss Analytics gained 2 clients, adding $2,000 monthly, my valuation hitting $30,000. I upgraded the house's security, adding $1,200 in cameras and a lock system. My savings stabilized at $25,000, but the message loomed. A break-in attempt triggered the cameras. 2 figures fled, leaving a torn photo of the Voss house. The police logged it, but leads were thin. I called Sarah, who warned of corporate or personal vendettas. My heart raced. Was this Greg's doing or a remnant of my past? The standoff grew. I presented my evidence to Pike's board, exposing Greg's sabotage, securing his reprimand. The rental income rose to $2,500 monthly, my financial independence solidifying. But the unknown number texted again. You can't hide forever. A video followed. My house filmed at night. I shuddered. Who were they? A disgruntled parent? A business rival? Standing in the living room, the note I'd left them in hand, I felt their absence and a chilling uncertainty. What was coming? The video of my Seattle house, filmed under the cover of night, and the chilling text, "You can't hide forever," gnawed at me as I sat in my newly renovated living room, the rain tapping against the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Lake Washington. The triumph of reclaiming the Voss house, paying off their $120,000 debt and leaving them with that final note, felt like a distant echo against this new menace. My hands trembled as I replayed the footage on my laptop, the unknown sender's warning a stark contrast to the independence I'd fought for. Who were they? A vengeful parent? Greg Larson, the rival analyst at Pike Solutions? My heart raced, but I steeled myself. The rental income from the house brought $2,500 monthly, my savings at $25,000, and Voss Analytics was gaining traction with $2,000 monthly from clients. Yet that ominous message hinted at a larger threat. I saved the video, vowing to trace its origin, and called my lawyer, Sarah Kim, her voice a steady anchor in the storm. "Tighten security," I said. "This feels personal." She agreed, promising to escalate. The next morning, I met Sarah at a discreet coffee shop in Capitol Hill, the aroma of espresso mingling with my unease. Her sharp eyes scanned the video and the torn photo left during the break-in attempt. "This is harassment with intent," she said, her pen tapping the table. "File a police escalation and hire a PI. Keep your financial wins quiet for now." I nodded, my mind racing. The police upgraded the case to a stalking probe, given the house's history, assigning Detective Nguyen. I hired a private investigator, Carla Evans, a no-nonsense woman with a military background, costing $3,000 and dipping my savings to $22,000. At Voss Analytics, I briefed my small team, 2 junior consultants, about the threat, their faces tightening with concern. My firm's valuation hit $35,000, but danger shadowed every spreadsheet. My career surged. I expanded Voss Analytics, securing a $5,000 contract with a local startup for financial forecasting, and invested $4,000 in yield tech, now projecting $15,000 returns. My savings climbed to $25,000, and I upgraded the house with a home office, its sleek desk a symbol of my rise, working 15-hour days to meet demand. Elena called again, her voice pleading, but I hung up, their apologies a trigger. Mark sent a letter, unopened, joining the stack in my drawer. Carla's initial report unsettled me. Greg Larson had been seen near my house, and his recent demotion after my board report fueled resentment. "He might have hired someone," Carla said. "But the video suggests a deeper grudge, possibly tied to your parents." The unknown they flashed in my mind, a mystery I couldn't unravel. The threat intensified a week later. A package arrived at my office, shattered glass from a picture frame, a note, "Back off or shatter." No sender. My stomach dropped. I called Sarah, who advised a restraining order against Greg and enhanced security measures. I installed motion sensors costing $2,000 and hired a night guard, a quiet man named Luis. The police analyzed the note, glove marks inconclusive, while Carla traced the delivery to a drop-off near Greg's apartment, but the courier claimed anonymity. Paranoia set in, every creak a potential intruder, yet I refused to yield. I capitalized on my firm's growth, launching a debt relief consulting service that booked $3,000, adding to my income. Greg contacted me, calling from a blocked number, his tone bitter. "Nadia, you've ruined me at Pike," he snarled. "This isn't over." I hung up, but curiosity gnawed. Carla dug deeper, uncovering Greg's ties to a debt collector agency, Black Ledger, which had hounded my parents pre-abandonment. "They might be retaliating for your house move," Carla warned. I confronted Greg at a neutral park, my guard Luis nearby. "Call off your dogs," I demanded. He smirked. "You think this is just me? You stirred a nest." I left, his words a warning, but Black Ledger's involvement suggested a broader vendetta. I launched a counterattack. With Sarah's help, I sued Greg for harassment and intimidation, using the note, Carla's findings, and police logs. The case was risky, but it pressured his allies. I boosted Voss Analytics, securing a $10,000 contract with a tech firm for a year-long audit, pushing my valuation to $50,000. The firm's security monitored my office, easing my nerves. But the pressure mounted. A break-in attempt triggered the sensors. 3 figures fled, leaving a slashed tire and a Black Ledger business card. The police linked it to the agency, but evidence was thin. I called Sarah, who suggested a corporate espionage angle, given my financial rise. The lawsuit hearing neared. I gathered evidence, Carla's reports, the note, Greg's threat, and footage. Working late to compile it, my office lit by a desk lamp. Black Ledger's lawyer offered a $5,000 settlement with silence. "Drop it," he urged over a tense call. "No," I told Sarah. "I want them exposed." The day arrived, a crowded courtroom in downtown Seattle. Greg sneered as I testified, recounting the abandonment, the house purchase, his sabotage. My voice steadied as I presented the glass shards. The judge frowned, ordering Greg to respond. Carla's testimony, linking Black Ledger to the card, swayed the court. The judge issued a restraining order, fined Greg $10,000, and ordered $3,000 restitution, a partial victory. As I left, Greg muttered, "They'll finish you." That night my phone buzzed again, same unknown number. "You delayed us. The cost is high." A photo followed. My house, a brick through the window. I froze. Who were they? Black Ledger's enforcers? A parent's ally? The victory felt tenuous, a new enemy emerging. I called Carla, who promised intensified tracking. My empire was growing, but the fight wasn't over. The brick through my Seattle house window and the menacing text, "You delayed us. The cost is high," haunted me as I stood in the rain-soaked living room, the shattered glass crunching underfoot. The victory of reclaiming the Voss house, paying off their $120,000 debt and severing ties with that final note, felt like a fading memory against this escalating threat. My pulse thundered as I gripped my phone, the unknown number a stark reminder of the battle won and the war intensifying. The police investigation into Greg Larson's harassment had hit a wall, the restraining order a fragile shield. Who were they? Black Ledger's enforcers? A remnant of my parents' past? I dialed Carla Evans, my investigator, my voice steady despite the dread. "Find them," I said. "They're too close." She promised round-the-clock efforts, her tone resolute. The triumph was mine. Greg humbled, my independence secured, but the fight wasn't over. The next day I met Sarah Kim, my lawyer, at a secure office in Belltown, the scent of polished wood and coffee grounding me. Her brow furrowed as she examined the video and brick photo. "This is organized intimidation," she said, her fingers tracing the damage. "Push the police for a task force and prepare for a siege. Your success is the target." I nodded, my mind racing with counterplans. At Voss Analytics I briefed my team, 3 consultants, a new hire. In the office, the air thick with tension. "We're under attack," I explained, showing the evidence. Their faces paled, but they rallied, vowing support. Revenue had risen to $5,000 monthly, a testament to my firm's growth, but danger shadowed every contract. I spent $4,500 on reinforced windows and hired a second guard, reducing my savings to $18,500. Security became my fortress. Carla's first update came that evening. She tailed Greg to a meeting with Black Ledger operatives. One, a burly man named Rex Tanner with a record for loan sharking. "They're furious," Carla said. "Your house move disrupted their leverage over your parents." I passed it to Sarah, who subpoenaed Rex's financials. Meanwhile, I dove into work, launching a financial freedom webinar series, booking $6,000 and earning $3,000. My savings climbed to $20,000, Voss Analytics valuation reaching $60,000. Elena and Mark called, frantic about threats, but I hung up, their pleas a burden. The threat cast a pall over my achievements. A second note arrived days later. Burned mortgage papers with "Last Chance" scrawled in black, slid under my door. No prints. The police upgraded the case to an extortion ring probe, assigning a detective team, but progress was slow. I called Sarah, who suggested a public expose to pressure Black Ledger, leveraging community outrage. I agreed, drafting a statement with her. From abandonment to empowerment, I face a debt cartel's wrath. I won't back down. The press conference held outside the Voss house drew 90 reporters. My voice wavered as I held up the papers, but I stood tall. The story broke. Analyst defies loan sharks, boosting my bookings to $7,000 monthly, though the risk escalated. Carla's next report unveiled the depth. She traced the unknown number to a burner phone bought near Rex's office, tying it to Black Ledger's leadership, led by a shadowy figure, Victor Hayes. "Your parents owed him big," Carla said. "He's using Greg as a front to reclaim control." I shivered, the stakes soaring. Sarah filed for an emergency injunction to freeze Black Ledger's accounts, stalling their cash flow. I fortified the house, adding $3,000 in alarms and a third guard. My savings dipped to $17,000, but the team's morale held. I trained them in crisis protocols, turning the office into a stronghold. The cybercrime probe gained traction. Sarah uncovered texts. Rex ordering Greg to sabotage my clients, costing me $5,000 in lost contracts. I reported it to the police, who raided a Black Ledger safe house, seizing records. Elena called again, sobbing. "Nadia, they're after us too. Help." I hung up, their desperation await. Mark texted, pleading a meeting. I met him at a neutral diner, recording his confession. "Victor forced us to leave you to clear his debt." I passed the tape to Sarah, adding coercion charges. The police widened the net, targeting Victor. The courtroom climax arrived. I testified, detailing the abandonment, the house purchase, Mark's admission. Greg's lawyer smeared me as vengeful, but the police evidence, texts, call logs, contract sabotage, overwhelmed. The judge issued a permanent restraining order, fined Greg $40,000, and ordered $15,000 restitution. Mark got probation for cooperating. Elena faced scrutiny. As I left, Rex in the gallery growled, "You'll regret this." Black Ledger's operations faltered, losing 25% of clients. Victory reshaped my world. My savings hit $30,000 with new contracts. $8,000 monthly from webinars, $5,000 from a corporate client. Voss Analytics valuation soared to $100,000. I moved to a penthouse with a Puget Sound view, its terrace a sanctuary after months of strife. I hosted a team celebration, toasting with local wine under fairy lights. But the peace shattered when a package arrived, unsealed, no sender. The brick photo, a new note, "You're marked. Run or pay." No signature. My blood ran cold. Carla traced it to a dead-end account. The police suspected Victor's elite, but proof was elusive. I hired a security firm, spending $4,000 to protect my assets. The threat persisted. A car tailed me one night, peeling off when guards intervened. My email was breached, a video file, a masked figure saying, "Your empire ends." The police formed a task force, but leads lagged. I channeled fear into my firm, launching a legacy wealth program sold out for $10,000, turning adversity into profit. The corporate contract grew to $6,000 monthly. I planned a book, From Castaway to Captain, and a fund for abandoned youth, working late to outline it. Yet the enemy's leader eluded me. One afternoon, reviewing footage, a figure lingered near the penthouse, too blurred to identify. Carla enhanced it, suggesting a woman, possibly Victor's lieutenant. The police interviewed me for 8 hours, mapping black ledger ties, but the mastermind remained a ghost. I added $3,500 in motion detectors. My savings stabilized at $35,000, but the vigilance cost weighed heavily. Standing on my terrace, the sound lapping, I felt a bittersweet win. My parents were out, Greg broken, but the we in those notes loomed. Was it Victor's elite? A parent's creditor? I sipped tea, the rain softening, but that marked photo's shadow lingered. Who was next? Only time would tell. Hey Revenge Tempest fans. Nadia's rise from abandonment to power is unforgettable. Loved it? Smash that subscribe button and join our crew. Drop a comment and tell us where you're watching from.